Hey everybody, welcome back to another 3D CAD video. This is Carter, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create this 2x2 double inclined brick. So you may have seen this brick before, not quite as common as some of the others, but it's got these two sloped surfaces and of course the tube on the bottom and the stud on top. And so I've gone ahead and created a new file, and we're going to be using the uh, the already completed one as a guide to create our own. So I can do that several different ways. I could open up and take a look at some edits. I can also take the screen bar. I can just drag it. So if I drag it all the way back here, you can see this is the original piece I started out with. And then they made some cuts. They made that. And then they did that. And then they put the stud on. And then they shelled the bottom, and so on and so forth. So starting with just this, you can see they created this shape. Actually, they created it on this shape, on this plane, and then they extruded it this distance right here, the length of this line. So if we open this up and take a little look, so here are our dimensions. So we got 0.375, an internal angle of 135 degrees, a distance on the top of 0.313, and then this distance out here, which is 0.0625. So you may note that we can't actually create an extrude while we have an edit open on another window. So to help with that, I'm just going to create a snippet, just take a little screenshot so we can have that for a reference, and then we'll close this out. All right, and now we can extrude. So let's go ahead and extrude. I'm going to select the right plane. You can also select the front, just don't select the top. I'm going to go with the right plane. And the problem, if you just try and use a line chain and draw out this shape right here, these numbers are going to be close to 100, unless you draw it very, very small. And then when you try to enter in some values, it may cause the shape to distort because some sides are much longer than other sides. So I found that the best way to deal with this is just to create a little brick, and we'll just enter in some small values like this just to get us down to size. Just bring these dimensions in. Okay, and this is about the scale that we're going to be working on. So then I'm just going to delete those and then delete these. And I'm using the delete key, not the backspace. So this is roughly the scale that we're working on. So I can go ahead and create a rough sketch. Oops. Let's get that last line in there. There we go. And you can see now that my dimensions are much closer to what they need to be. We got that. We've got this dimension for positioning, and also this dimension for positioning. So I'm actually going to remove this one by putting the angle in, since that's what we're given. It's an angle of 135 degrees. Okay, 135 degrees. The height is going to be 0.375. Go ahead and put that in. This top line right here is going to be 0.313. There we go. This distance right here is going to be 0.0625. There we go. And these two are for positioning. So if you think of this as one big rectangle, if I were to draw a line from here to here, I can turn this into a construction line. You may have seen this trick in some other videos. See if I can't get this. No, I can't. That's okay. We don't need that positioning. So if you think of this as one big rectangle, where this extends out like this, and then this comes down like this, give me just a second. Let me see if I can't get, let's do it like this. There we go. So think of this as one big rectangle. We want to position it so that it's in the very center. So the center is going to be right around here somewhere. So if I do a line chain like this, and then turn this into a construction line, and I can even turn these into construction lines as well, and we get our sketch back. So all of that is to give us this point right here, which is going to be the center. Okay, and then I can even put a point right there, just like that. I can even dimension like this from here to here, and put that distance at 0, and then from that point to that point, and give that a distance of 0. And now we have this piece is centered on this axis right here. So it's not a big deal if you just want to leave it as it is, or if you want this corner on the center, that works too. I just prefer to have my planes cut through the middle of the figure. So let's go ahead and OK this and make sure that it's symmetric. And then we need a distance. So this is going to be the same as the 2x2 Lego brick. The base is square. So if you remember, the 2x4 had a distance of 1.25, and the 2x2 is half of that. So it's going to be 0.63. Okay. And that is our first shape. Right. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at what is next. So the next feature is going to be this sloped cut. Let's take a look at the shape. So it appears to be that we go to the front. So where the slope is, it'll also be on the back. And then we create this angled surface. We use this lip right here as a reference. We go up this distance and we come out like this. So this point right here is 0.5875, and this point right here is 0.313. So let's get our screenshots. There we go. And then we can cancel out. All right, and here's our piece that we've been working on. So let's extrude, and we'll extrude from the center plane. Let's orient the sketch view. And actually, since it's giving us this back view, let's extrude from this edge right here, this flat surface, and see if that'll give us, yeah, that'll give us, so that way we can see this edge. That's a bit better. I like that more. So let's go ahead and draw. Put that in like that, and complete the sketch. Okay, so this distance down here is this distance right here, which is 0.5875. There we go. And then it also gives this distance right here, and that distance is 0.313. There we go. So that's what it's going to look like. Let's go ahead and OK that, remove material, flip this around, and go all the way through. Okay, and you'll see that we're left with a square on top, which is a good sign. And we have our two slopes. All right, so the next feature is going to be the stud on top. So let's extrude on that. And let's just do this trick again to get the center. Throw one more in there. Turn these into construction lines. Throw in a circle. And of course the diameter of all the studs is 0.19. I just have that memorized. And the height of the stud is 0.078. All right, so that's the stud. All right, now we need to shell out the bottom. And the shell thickness is 0.052. So over here in thickness, 0.052. And then just click anywhere on the bottom. And it shows perfectly. All right, now this next part is a little bit tricky. And I'm going to go back to the example to show you why. So we put in the stud, just like they did. Then we shelled out the bottom. That's good. And now we need to put in the tube on the bottom. But you'll notice that no matter whether we start here or here, it's going to stick out because these slope surfaces. So we're going to have to clean up this extrude right here, this part that's sticking through. And we'll need to remove some material afterwards. So for the cylinder, that's just going to be in the center of this rectangle, excuse me, the square. And the inner diameter is 0.19 and the outer diameter is 0.25. And we can even check that if we look at the extrude. You can see we got 0.25. Oh, and they have an inner diameter of 0.21. That's interesting. Check our drawing standards. I think that might be a mistake. I think the inner diameter is 0.19, 0.25 or 0.19. So we can fix that real quick. 0.19. And go ahead and OK that. So that's the tube. So let's go ahead and go back to our figure. And we'll extrude from this bottom surface. We get a circle, stick that in the center. I'm going to make sure that we get it not here, but here. You might have to zoom in a bit. And then we're going to draw two of them. Hello. There we go. So 0.19 is the inner, and 0.25 is the outer. And you can see how it sticks through. So it's okay. Let's do to reference and select this bottom surface, and then OK that. Now we want to do a cleanup cut to remove this part right here, and then we'll be done. So you could do this a few different ways. You could make two extrudes, one off of this surface and one off of this surface. So maybe one off of this surface right here. That just goes out in this direction. And I believe that is what this person did in their example. Yes, it is. So you can see that for this, they just did, oh, they went like this. Okay. So they do a cut from the side and then they just like that. I'm going to do it slightly differently. I'm just going to do it in one shot instead of two because it's slightly faster. So I'm just going to put in a plane like this, and then hold down Control and select that vertex right here. And what that gives me is this plane which looks just like that. So we OK, and then extrude off of that plane. And you can see it gives us, if we flip it around, so this is our plane, and if we use this as a reference, let me just make sure that I did my plane correctly. Yep. Okay, cool. It's just giving me a weird view. That's okay. Let's do a line chain, get some references in here. One there, one there. We just want to cover the piece. Oops. Let's get one last one in there. There you go. And you can see that we've just created a plane that kind of sits at an angle and is going to allow us to cut along this line right here. So I will OK and remove material. I'm going to come to options. I'm going to set both of these to variable because I want to be able to drag on both ends because I don't, you can see it shaves off a bit of the stud there. And then I can just cut along like this and remove all of that material. You can see what it's doing. I click and drag, just going along this edge right here and removing all the material. Okay, so we have our tube on the bottom, we have our stud on the top, and our two sloped surfaces right there. And that is the 2x2 double inclined Lego brick. Don't forget to save your work, and we are done.